Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking the time to spend a little time with me. You guys know I had to do my quick draft day preview in regards to the first round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I don't want this video to be too long, guys, so I'm going to try to speed through it the best I can. The biggest question is, who are the Steelers going to go with in the first round? Now, obviously, everyone in the world knows that we need secondary help. We need help big time in the secondary. But I'm going to talk about two other positions that I wouldn't be upset if the Steelers were to go that route in the first round. So, of course, I always, I want a cornerback in the first round. We know the tradition of the Steelers picking cornerbacks in the first round, not that often. So, it's wishful thinking, but who knows? This could be a new era, a new day. Kevin Colbert himself has said that it will be a defensive draft, so maybe they go after a cornerback first and foremost. So we'll save that for last. But let me talk about two other positions, and let me throw some bonus footage in there real quick in regards to, bonus commentary, I guess you would say. No one is really talking about the linebacker area for the Steelers. Now, at outside linebacker, we're okay. Bud Dupree is definitely showing himself. He's going to be a great player for us. Had a great rookie outing. Opposite him is Jarvis Jones. And this is someone that you could compare Dupree to, because Dupree showed what he could do in his rookie season. Jarvis Jones, not so much. We still don't know what's up with Jarvis Jones. This will be his final season on his contract. So we don't know. We don't know, he shows flashes at times, but he hasn't really been that consistent. So you never know. It could be a linebacker out there. I know there are a lot. I don't know if they're first round worthy, but could be a linebacker out there. And don't get me wrong. When I say I don't know if they're first round worthy, I'm talking about first round pick by the Steelers, or if the guy would still be there if there is a linebacker in that position. So let me just distinguish that. So I don't know if it's a first round pick, depending on who it is. I don't know if you go outside linebacker in the first round, but we do need a little bit of help there as well. So that's just some bonus commentary there, though. That's not the one or two spots that I was talking about before, but we have to consider that as well, because James Harrison is there as well. We know he's year to year. He's not a starter. Middle linebacker, we're pretty good. We got Lawrence Timmons. Ryan Shazier, if he stays healthy, could still be definitely a wrecking force. You got Vince Williams behind those guys, so even at middle linebacker, we're a little bit thin. So linebacker could be somewhere that we, somewhere in the draft, we grab a linebacker as well. So you never know. But here are the two positions that I wouldn't mind. First and foremost, let's talk about the safety position. We need a strong safety. Everyone knows that. We did sign Robert Golden. Robert Golden got more opportunities last year to play on defense. Showed up pretty well, pretty decent for his time in the game. So we've re-signed him. You would assume that he's going to be the guy slated to take the strong safety spot. We already have Mike Mitchell. And Mike Mitchell had a better outing last year as well. He's starting to come around. Still needs help in the coverage aspect. But, I like Mike Mitchell. I like what he's providing for us. I would assume he would only get better as the years go on, all right? Now, strong safety is where we need help. So there's a couple top safeties out there. You got Hargraves. You got, what's the guy from Ohio State? I believe it's Ohio State. Von Bell, I believe his name is. But here's the guy that I would like to see if they choose a safety for the 25th pick. I would like Keanu Neal. Looking at this guy, looking at some of his tape, looking at his measurables and all of that, the way he plays, he's a guy I think that could fit with the Pittsburgh Steelers at strong safety. And he's listed as a strong safety. So that's who I would go after. I would love to see that if they decide to go safety. Keanu Neal is probably the guy. I see a lot, some people out there have him on their mock draft as well. So that would be great. All right, now the next position that I wouldn't be too ticked off about if they were to go D-line. Now we need help on the D-line. We know even at the end spot, we got Stephon Tuitt, who's going to be a problem. We know that. We got Cam Hayward, who is the consistent monster, arguably the leader of the defense right now. But who do we have behind those guys, even at the end spot? It's very thin. Maybe guys like Anthony Chickillo will show up, or LT Walton and some of these other guys, that were on the practice squad. Maybe there's some guys like that. Maybe there's another free agent we'll grab. I know we did grab the guy from what's his name, Ricardo Matthews from San Diego. Who knows? Maybe he could fill in a spot or two, spell those guys when they need help. Who knows? But what did we lose? We lost Steve McClendon, which is going to be a huge loss for us. Even though last year, they're saying that we didn't run a whole lot of the standard base 3-4. We stayed in nickel a lot, and that's primarily due to the rotation or, the D tackle really not being used as often as like a traditional nose tackle. But I still think Steve McClendon leaving is going to hurt us a little bit with the run game, because this guy, he could move and he played very well in our scheme. So that leads me to the next pick. I wouldn't be upset if they went D tackle, and if so, I'm liking the kid out of Baylor. I'm liking Andrew Billings. Looking at this guy's film, and I'm going to actually put the link to a highlight film I saw on him earlier in the description so you guys can see it. This guy looks like someone who could play in the Steelers defense in the 3-4, possibly even the nickel, because this guy was even getting pressure and getting some sacks. But there's one play in particular where I saw this dude chase down a running back, or it might even been a receiver, but I think it was a running back. Of course, he had a little bit of an angle, but he walked this dude down like 30, 40 yards downfield and made the tackle. That's the type of player I need on my team. Hustle player. So he's a big guy. I think he's 6'2", about 300 pounds or so, but he can move. I would love that. So if they decide, okay, we're going to get the interior line straight on that first pick, wouldn't be mad at that either, because I know there's a lot of corners in this draft, guys. There's going to be corners left in the second round, probably even the third round. We definitely need to get a corner or two and a safety. But again, the two positions that I wouldn't be upset with, if they go D tackle and it's somebody like an Andrew Billings, fine. If they go safety and it's somebody like Keanu Neal, fine. Then we can grab corners later. Now, of course, I would love it to be a corner in the first round. So if so, let me give you the guys that I like. Now, on all of these mock drafts, you're seeing 4 guys primarily get talked about. You see Eli Apple, you see Mackenzie Alexander, you see what's the other guy's name? It's slipping my mind right now. William Jackson III, and then you're seeing Artie Burns from Miami. Now, if I had my pick, I'm stuck on 2 guys because I like them equally because of the way they play. I like Eli Apple, and I like William Jackson III. I really like this dude because of his size, and he has the speed edge on these guys. He's running a 4.3. Now, don't get me wrong. 4.4 is fast as well. And a lot of people, there's a misconception with that. We get so caught up with 4.3 speed. People don't realize that people who have played sports, even 4.5 is fast. That's a fast human being. Running in the 4.5, sub 4.5s, you fast. You know what I'm saying? 4.4 is real fast, and 4.3 is lightning fast. So all of these corners that I just mentioned, they are all in the 4.4 range, so we're good. But William Jackson III is a little faster, which is always great, and he's a bigger guy. Him and Eli Apple, both of those guys, they got them being, good size, they're rangy, long, as far as their arms and, their length, how they play, physical. We need that. Even they talk about Eli Apple being raw talent, which is cool, Get him into the NFL, let some coaches coach him up. Don't have a problem with that. When you consider what the Steelers have, we got William Gay, which is, the veteran, whether you like him or not, does a fairly decent job, right? You got Senquez Golson, which we are treating like another draft pick because he didn't play last year. And this guy, I still believe in. Shout outs to my boy Azure Effect, who said last year that this guy is a dog. And he is. He is a dog on the field. If you look at his old footage. Can't wait to see what he's going to be able to bring in the slot. And I actually like the Cockrell. Cockrell played very well for the Steelers last year, coming in late during training camp, and he ended up being a starter for a lot of the time. And he played well. Got a couple picks, 1 or 2 picks, some nice breakups. I think Cockrell is going to be a problem. And this is a guy that everyone, they're saying that Mike Tomlin was high on him anyway when he came out. So I think we're going to be pretty decent. If we plug another solid corner in that spot, we'll be okay. You know, it's still a work in progress, guys. You know, being the 30th ranked pass defense, we still got a lot of work to do. But it starts up front, and the up front helps the back end. So there it is, guys. That's my thought. It's my draft preview. This is what I want to see again. Let's go through it again. I would love it to be a corner. But if it's not a corner, 2 positions will make me happy. Possibly linebacker, depending on who it is, but I don't really want to do that in the first round. But these 2 positions would be fine for me. And these 2 people. D-tackle is somebody like Andrew Billings. Safety, someone like Keanu Neal. And if we don't do that, I want it to either be Eli Apple or William Jackson III. And I would be very happy with the first round and, you know, things like that. Now, another thing that's interesting to look for maybe in the second round, I wouldn't take him in the first round. Second or third, possibly. It's going to be interesting to see where the guy, Kemdichi, I think is how you say his name, from Ole Miss. It's going to be very interesting to see where he goes, because he could be somebody that we grab later on. I don't know if we want to take on his off-field issues, but you never know. You know, based on the way he plays, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Steelers defense. But again, before we wrap it up here, guys, Andrew Billings, Keanu Neal could be the only 2 players that I would love. I'm sure there are others, and keep in mind some of the other guys are going to be gone. Some of the other studs that we know out there, Ramsey and Bosa and all, those dudes ain't going to be there. But you never know. The Steelers always take the best available. So it's always going to come down to that. But if it goes the way we feel it's going to go based on mocks and all of that, if it's not a corner first, it needs to be Andrew Billings or Keanu Neal. If it is a corner, it needs to be, I would love it to be, William Jackson III or Eli Apple. Those are my preferences, even though I'm good with McKenzie, and I am definitely good with Artie Burns as well. All right, guys, so that's what I got for you, man. Definitely leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Let me know who you would like to see at that spot. You know, a lot of you guys know college players more than I do. I know a lot of them, but I don't know them all. So I want to hear your thoughts. I want this to be a discussion. Let me know what you want to see for us Steelers fans. Who would y'all like to see us take at the 25th spot in the first round? All right, guys, leave your thoughts, leave your comments, and I promise it will not hurt you to hit that like button. All right, guys, until next time, let me know what you think. Go Steelers. Peace. Once again, guys, thanks for coming by. And if you want to interact with me live, head on over to Sim Standard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. The call-in number for the show is down in the description. Now, of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. And before you go, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys. Until next time, lights out.